for my comic review for this week. Get right into it. Not even gonna just get right into it, shall we? So we're gonna talk about this pilot again. A pretty decent week. Some good stuff that came out. I'm gonna kick this off with the indie books first, and then move on to Marvel and end it with DC. All right. So we're gonna kick it off with Joe BENITZ, BENITZ, Lady Mechanica. This is issue 2 and 3. Nice cover of her. Okay, so basically this is still continuing the story arc that is the story arc called The Mystery of the Mechanical Corpse. Lady Mechanica is still on the trail of finding someone who may be just like her. And it brings her into contact with the general that she knew back in the day. They have an outing. The general gets hurt. And then it also brings her into contact with the carnival circus, actually. Let me get a good look. And we get to see that in this time, in this world, the carnies are really not, they don't really trust a lot of people. Outsiders are not really welcomed in their circle. They kind of kept that true and to the essence, and we got to see that in this. But still a great start. Remember, these are older. These issues came out before. The newer issue starts next week, I believe. And so far, Mr. BENITZ has been doing a great job with this. I really enjoy this steampunk heroine. You know, she's half mechanical, but she's great. You know, like I said, when I'm reading her, I feel when I'm reading her, I sense Kate Beckinsale's voice coming out of her. So it's like, oh, that even makes it even better. All right. Let's move on to Dynamite, and we're gonna move on to Legendary Red Sonja #1. This is pretty much taking some of the characters that are with Dynamite, Vampirella, Red Sonja, and Green Hornet, and kind of steampunking them. Excuse me. And I thought I'd give this a try. You know, I thought, first of all, I like the cover. The cover is beautiful. And once again, I gave Mark Andreyko a chance, and I must admit, Mr. Andreyko, not bad at all. In this, Sonja is like a pirate / captain of a ship, and she comes to port every once in a while. People know her. She's always looking for a good time. A lot different than the typical Red Sonja that we know, where she's more like, you know, like no man will touch me and everything like that. This is a different Red Sonja. This is more like, yeah, she enjoys the company of a man, and you know, it's like, whoa, a little different. In the meantime, she bumps into a scientist, and he's scared to death about something. They both enter a tavern or bar, and that's when the plot even thickens even more. We also get to see someone else who is watching this scientist, and later on, we get to see basically Sonja comes into contact with the scientist's pursuers, and the plot even thickens even more from there, especially who saves the scientist. And that is where I'm going to stop right there, because that right there, Mr. Andreyko, I will say, yeah, okay, now you got me hooked. Where goes more onto this? But Legendary Red Sonja #1, I thought was really very interesting indeed. Very interesting. Why couldn't you write Batgirl like Batwoman like that, Mr. Andraco. I don't know. Magnus, Robot Fighter, number 11. Fred Van Lint and Joseph Cooper continue to do a good job with one of the Gold Key characters. Since Magnus was taken out in the last issue by this robot that he could not find a weakness to, but I will say this, he is supposedly back. They're running scenarios. The people who are bringing him back are running scenarios of certain things. So it's kind of like he's going back and forth. He's doing something over and over again, and he's starting to realize that maybe this isn't real. But in the meantime, what's going on in the present time is the out-of-control robot is killing and wiping out people who have not followed Magnus's father's orders. So it's kind of like this robot is just following orders. If you disrespect the master, you die. But other than that, it was very, very interesting indeed. I like the flashback things that were going on. I was like, no, okay, they didn't get right this time. Run it back again. Run the scenario again. No, it didn't go right. Run the scenario again. I thought that was really cool. But it looks like this series will be coming to an end next issue. I think all the Gold Key characters will be coming to an end. Dynamite, thank you so much for giving these characters a chance. Thank you for Torok. Thank you for Magnus. I have to read Solar Man from the beginning. I didn't catch up on that, so I gotta read that from the beginning. But thank you for this very much. And that's how Dynamite does. They give us 12 to a certain amount of issues, and then, you know, occasionally you might see them again someday. You know, it gives us something. Next up, we move on to X, number, what is this, 22. Dwayne Straczynski and Eric Nugent, excuse me again, do a good job with this. Remarkably, guys, this was not as bloody as the last 20-something issues. So once again, like I said, this is the Marked for Death story arc. The Archon returns. Basically, X comes into contact with two super-powered individuals. The first that is in this series. And they are just demolishing Arcadia. And X, he's kind of taken an oath to protect his city by any means necessary. And he has no means of really stopping these guys. One is good, one is bad. This one's bad, this one's good. Lee, his kind of reporter, blogger, sidekick, gives him some information that they're not as invincible as they seem to be, and they're not. So X gets into a freaking tank and blows, just showcases. It was pretty cool. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop these motherfuckers. That's what basically was like. He's like, I'm gonna stop these motherfuckers. And even still, X, even after the dust is cleared, one of them says, okay, we have to go after him. You know, he's gonna. And X is like, fuck you. I ain't gotta go. I ain't gotta do shit. You know, you brought the fight to my city. Arcadia is my city. I protect it. You want to go after him? Go after him. I'm not going after him. He's not my problem. Right there, it clearly shows you the case that if anything involves into Arcadia, yes, X is going to help. X is going to do whatever he can. But if it's outside, he won't do anything. In a sense, X, this version of X feels more like a very isolated Batman. Like if Batman never left Gotham. Gotham was his major focus. That's it. He wasn't part of Justice League. None of that. None of that. He was just focused on cleaning up Gotham. That's what it felt like. And it saddens X even after with all the destruction, he clearly shows emotion, which we haven't seen very much. And I'm talking genuine emotion of seeing the destruction of half of the city of Arcadia. He literally unlocks his mask, because his mask is locked. He unlocks it, and you see his face, and he's crying, and it was like, whoa, okay. But these two characters actually are going to appear in Captain Midnight, so I get to see what goes on next. That the story of these two continue in Captain Midnight. Yes, good stuff. Alright, and the last indie book that I picked up is the Dark Horse Dynamite crossover, Conan Red Sonja #2, The Age of Adventure. Gail Simone and Jim Zub continued the story between these two great barbarian characters. The best thing about it, especially in the beginning, is I got a feel of basically the old Conan movie, especially when you hear the great Mako do the voice where he's when the times of the and it's in here, and it's like, and then it literally says at one point, now these are, let me show you the days of high adventure. I was like, oh, so there's nostalgic feel came to me in this. So this seems to take place 6 years after the first issue, and Sonja is now with one of her associates, and they kind of protect against slavers and things like that. Conan has met someone who he has fallen for, and he's kind of a pirate, and of course the two meet again, and they come together to battle a wizard, and this wizard has a certain artifact that they battled in the first issue once again, and that was really interesting. I thought it was interesting, but both Sonja and Conan's patrol were like, really like, you two are too friendly with each other. Like, is there something going on? It was pretty funny. I thought that was cool. But another fine tale that Ms. Simone and Mr. Zub did. The artwork was good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next. I think this is a 4-parter miniseries, so we'll see where the next issue goes. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay. Next up, we move on to the Marvel. Let's move on to the Marvel. I might speed through some of these, so I apologize. Alright, let's start it off with all new Ghost Rider. I believe one more issue to go for this season. But in this issue, first of all, the artwork in here was much better. The artwork was better in this than the previous 10 issues. Robbie has a new haircut. He looks different. He's also trying to remember what Johnny Blaze taught him about becoming. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't quote unquote fight the demon. Use its power and things like that. But this demon is not really a demon. He's just a psychopath killer named Eli Morrow. Excuse me. And we get some more interesting detail into who Eli Morrow is, besides the things that we already know about him. And he is clearly showcasing to Robbie that you think you maybe have me under control, but you don't. Robbie's brother is really kind of disconnecting himself from his older brother because of what Eli did when he took over his body and things like that. Robbie's got some lady, he's getting, there's a girl that likes him, and she wants to be his girlfriend and things like that. And Eli's just Robbie's just truly showcasing, like, look, telling Eli in his head, like, I'll take whatever you can dish out, no matter what. And Eli's just telling him, like, you're gonna be sorry about this. And we're starting to see more of who Eli Morrow is, like I said before. And right there is where the bomb just gets dropped on Robbie's, and it's just really, it's like a slap in the face to Robbie of who Eli Morrow is. The fact that he knew his father and his mother and things like that. It was like, ooh. And then it's the ending. Really? Really? Y'all going there? But it was good. Alright, here it is, guys. Amazing Spider-Man number 714. Yes, I said 714 because that's what it is. It's not 14. Screw that. Alright? If you're keeping count like Spidey fans should be, it's Amazing Spider-Man 714. Anyway, this is the part 6 of final part to SpiderVerse. Nice cover. Dan Slott, Kamiliko. I could say right off the bat, this is probably out of this all the issues of this story arc. This is probably the most action-packed that it is. No big storytelling, just action-packed, gritty, in your face. The spiders take the fight to the Inheritors, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really, you know. I thought Spider-Ham had a good moment in here. Once again, like I said, I wish Kane didn't die. You know, I really wish Scarlet Spider didn't die because I liked him. Ben Reilly died. There was a good moment also with May. I'm glad she didn't die. And I'm glad she kind of came to her senses and realized just who the hell she really is, and realizes that as Spider-Man and as a spider person, or I should say as the daughter of the Amazing One, you have a code. And though we saw her very angry and aggressive because of what happened, what transpired through this story arc, we see that she realized that I'm not a killer. I'm not going to kill these people. And we get to see that. The ties turn, especially for the Inheritors, when one of their own turns on them. I thought that was typical. The ending was typical. I didn't care too much for that ending as much. You know, I was like, okay, really? Like, I don't need this. Keep shoving that Silk Peter relationship down our throat. Slot. I don't care for it, and I don't want it. But other than that, it ends on like them saying like we all can go back to our own worlds now, even Miguel. And of course, then there's that little bit of a moment from the dickhead himself, Doc Ock. And you know, so I'm thinking in the epilogue something's gonna go down between him. And he was kind of a dickhead in this too. He did some things in there that he was just like, no. But I will say, action-packed, definitely. Personally, I wish, like I said, Dan Slott that was his last issue. But I will be picking up when Jerry Conway comes back to do a few issues. But I think they're .1 issues. I really wish he was taking over. I'd take Jerry Conway. Jerry Conway gave us some good stories for Spider-Man 2. Just saying. Alright. Once again, action-packed as well. All new XMen number 36. Action-packed as well. Seeing the team battle Ultimate Doom or Victor Van Dam. I love how Jean was able to stay with this version. They also find the mutant that transported them there and things like that, which was really interesting. They got to see some other worlds that they got to see some other worlds that, you know, was kind of interesting. Even a world where some form of older Wolverine and Thing are fighting each other. It was like, whoa, okay. Even I believe House of M X-Men. Remember how they looked like in House of M? Just a lot of different worlds. And when they finally get back to their own world, Beast says something here that I won't spoil, but take in consideration, I'm talking about younger Beast, in consideration what he meant by that. And that right there gave me a little bit of a, okay. Next up, Captain Marvel number 12. Kelly Sue DeConnick, excuse me,
sorry, continues to still tell the tales of Carol being the emissary of the Avengers for outer space. And this picks up right where the last issue left off. Carol teleports with her friend. What was her friend's name again? The mutant. What's the mutant name? Leela Shani. And she teleports back to the ship. Her ship has completely been attacked. Finds out that Chewie, her little cat, who is more than just a cat, has been kidnapped by, and that's pretty much the basis of this issue, is Carol trying to get back her special cat. And that's pretty much all it was. Her ship gets a little bit of a boost thanks to, because it is Stark technology. I thought that was cool, but yeah, it's pretty much all it is. But it was fun nonetheless. That's always been the problem with the original Guardians 3000. Mr. Abner, this is issue number 5, still continues to tell the tale of their world is definitely, time is being displaced, including Vance not remembering somebody that she clearly remembers him, but he doesn't. We get to see the last member of the Nova Corps in this, who I believe is relation to Richard Rider. We get to see a cool, badass Herald of Galactus, or who has power cosmic, who guards something called the Hunger Pit. And inside that Hunger Pit, yeah, let's just say there's a reason why that guardian of this Hunger Pit has power cosmic. Yeah, like, okay, that was interesting. But other than that, the story this has just been a fun issue, just a fun series so far. It's just been great, especially for me who remembers the original Guardians, like Charlie 27 and Yondu and Marquez and, you know, Major Victory and all those people. It's really good to see this. And like I said, these Alex Ross covers are just beautiful. And we kick it from the original Guardians to the second wave of Guardians, you know, the new Guardians, the familiar Guardians that many people know. Guardians of the Galaxy issue 24. This is part 2 of the Black Vortex. I really don't want to spoil anything in this, guys, but this right here gives us a little indication of what this Black Vortex can do to an individual, or what they can, and 2 people get, I should say, upgraded or modified: Gamora and Beast. I thought it was interesting. Gamora looks badass. She looked like old school Gamora, the Gamora I grew up with, the one, you know, with the hood and, you know, badass, you know, living up to that monarch, or the most dangerous woman in the galaxy. She still lives up to it now, but yeah, she takes it to the 10th level up in this bad boy. What I will tell you is
We don't see. There's no Mantis is not in this. Cosmo is not in this, and Howard the Duck is not in this. That's false advertisement. What the hell? But other than that, we do get a little bit of also indication that there may be some dissension, or I shouldn't say dissension, disagreement between two of the characters. I'm not going to spoil who that is, but I'm not going to spoil too much. But it was good. And Nightcrawler number 11. I think this series is coming to an end too. Really? But it was good to have you back, Mr. Claremont, telling Kurt Wagner's story. So, first of all, the cover is pretty cool. So Kurt is going off to save two of his students, Scorpion Boy and what's the other girl's name? Ziggy Cars. Yeah, she's like I would say she's kind of like a kid version, but female of Forge. That's the best way I can describe it. Because they've been kidnapped, and it's really cool to see that the kids step up big time. The Scorpion Boy and Ziggy, especially when they go to where this place is, and they see other kids that have been kidnapped by these pirates, and they step up big time. Scorpion Boy steps up big time. He gets some more confidence in himself, and we get to see maybe a future look of what the two young mutants will look like. Scorpion Boy, or I should say Scorpion Man, his adult self looks vicious, and Ziggy looks cool too. But of course, Kurt comes to their rescue. But then they step up even more in this, and it just showcases that even though Kurt is supposed to be the teacher, he's learning and remembering, in a sense, the code or the effects of being an X-Men. And I thought that was really good storytelling from Mr. Claremont, very much. But yeah, could be coming to an end. Alright, Spider-Woman number 4. This ties into SpiderVerse, Hopeless, and Greg Land. Who fucking cares? Yeah, I'm glad he's getting off this book. Thank you, God. Alright, so does this tie into Spider-Verse? In a sense, it does. Because after the events would happen in Amazing Spider-Man, Jessica feels that, you know what? Even though Lumworld is no more with the Inheritors, she's not really feeling herself. The one that pretty much is like the whore to Morlon and all them. And she comes back to like set her straight in a sense, which is really interesting. Her, Ayana, Gwen, and Silk go and dish out a little bit of justice. It was interesting. Then Jessica returns back to 616, and she's talking with her best friend, Carol Danvers. And they're in a donut shop. It's supposed to be Dunkin' Donuts, but it wasn't. And, Carol's like, so you don't want a donut? And she's like, I don't like donuts. That was the first time I ever heard Jessica say, I don't like donuts. And Carol's like, what, are you on a diet or something? She's like, no, I just don't eat them. I thought it was funny. And they go to the Avengers Tower, and she's just like, I'm going to feel sorry they're talking about Steve, because now that Steve is older, now a lot of them are looking at Steve like very much being like a grandfather to them, and I'm like, oh man. But as soon as Jessica is about to tell Steve something, a monster or something busts in and they deal with it, and then later on Jessica says, I quit. Spoiling for her. She says, I quit. I don't want to be an Avenger anymore. Let me just literally tell you what she says. She says it's just that I can't do it. I can't be an Avenger anymore. The constant uh, she's also getting on the fact that, not so bargain with the Scroll Queen, the Space War, SpiderVerse nonsense, all that. I want to be a normal person part of the time, at least. I want to help people, regular people, maybe live in an apartment that isn't made of recycled Iron Man suits. She's talking about their tower. So go on a date with somebody who hasn't seen me punch an alien. And she says to Steve, I'm sorry. And this is the funny thing that I always find funny is like, this is Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's not Captain America anymore, but he still will always be Cap. Why would you apologize to him? Because honestly, Steve knows. Steve is not going to be mad at you. And he says it. He's like, don't be. You can quit. It's fine. And once again, what's that old saying? Once an Avenger, always an Avenger. And he's like, you'll be here if we need you. And she's like, yeah, anytime. And this is where she still keeps talking to Carol, and Carol's kind of poking fun at her, like, quit her, and she's like, shut up. But Carol's like, no, I'm proud of you, and that's when she starts, Carol starts saying, so where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna live? And things like that. And Jessica's like, I don't know, but she's saying, it's time to go in a bold new direction. And this is where we really get a sense that it was true, where she even says, I'm considering a new costume. And I love this because Carol grabs her cheeks and she's like, yes. She razzes on Jessica's costume. She says, oh, yes, you're not messing with me. Seems like it's time for a change. The long national nightmare is Dunzo. Basically saying her costume is stupid. And she's like, it's not that bad. And then I love what Jessica says to Carol, because it was so funny. She says, you used to fly around with your cheeks hanging out. Like basically razzing on Carol when she had her Ms. Marvel costume. She used to, basically it was a thong, and her ass was hanging out. And I thought that was funny. And it's a bold new direction for her, and we have seen what her costume going to look like, and to see the new artists on there, Javier Rodriguez is doing artwork. Looks good. Like I said, the costume does look very biker-esque, but she's trying to lead a different life, and I'm like, okay. But, I'll always remember this costume no matter what, the classic look. And thank you God Land is off this damn book. Alright. Thor number 5. Aaron's. This was good. Oh man, this is Aaron's, you've just been doing a great job with this series. Once again, I don't want to spoil too much of this either. What I will tell you is that Odin is not happy with this. Thor is on the mission to find out who this is. He's got a list, and a lot of people that I said is on that list, including Jane Foster. He talks to Lady Sif, and it was kind of interesting to see Sif. And he and Sif come to a conclusion that, yes, even though there is feelings between them, but it seems like every time they start something, their relationship kind of gets rocky at some point. Thor does get a little drunk at times. He gets drunk at one point. But I did like the scene where female Thor, fights the Absorbing Man and his wife, Titania, and she kind of wipes the floor with both of them. I was kind of shocked. But it was good. Frigga talks to her as well. But Odin, the ending. Odin. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to mention. So Odin's brother, Call, who was in Fear itself, the main villain, is back alive again, Marvel, right? When did that happen? See? What the hell? Really? X-Men number 24. Or should I call this X-Men The Descent? Because that's what this issue felt like. The horror movie The Descent. The X-Women are underground fighting these hive-like creatures. Storm is, she's trying to fight off her claustrophobic in another part. This made up for last week's issue, in my opinion. But that's what this felt like, The Descent. So I would put X-Men The Descent, because that's what this issue felt like. It was good to see Psylocke, Rachel, and Monet work together as a trio, because they're both telepaths in a sense. All three of them are. Yes, I think people forget that Monet has several different mutant powers, and she's a telepath as well, and we get to see them work their magic on these creatures. It was pretty badass. But yeah, that's what this issue felt like to me. But not bad at all. Alright, so that's all the Marvel. Let's move on to the DC. Alright, here we go. Green Lantern Corps number 39. This was good. This is still continuing the story of John and some of the Lanterns. John is going off to one of his fellow Lanterns' homeworld to find the missing people, what's been going on. It ends with a big bang, in a sense, and especially in the case of John, because of this is bringing back memories again, dark memories. I thought this was really good. Didn't mind it at all, very much. Jensen and Chen did a good job on that. Alright, next up, we move on to Justice League United number 9. Lemire, you do a good job with this, sir. I really don't want to spoil. I felt really bad for John in this, what he had to do. But the good thing about it is that he was able to fix Hawkman, who was being controlled by one of the villain in this. It was good to see, the Legion helping out this version of the Justice League. Animal Man kind of razzes on Bouncing Boy, and then he's like, your name's Bouncing Boy, and then Bouncing Boy shows off some badass stuff with his powers. And he's like, yeah, Bouncing Boy. I was like, okay, that was cool. Supergirl shines in this, but then it's kind of like, really, Supergirl, New 52 Supergirl's only 16? I'm like, I thought she was older than that. But other than that, it was cool. Green Owl tries to get some kind of war cry going on. I gotta bring it up because I thought it was funny. What did he say? Oh, he says, "You heard him, Justice League." He said, "You heard him, Justice League, attack!" And I love Animal Man. It was like, Justice League attack? Is that the best rally cry you can come up with? And Ollie said, yeah. Now just shut up and claw something. I'm like, God damn it, Ollie. What the hell is wrong with you? But it was cool. Mortal Kombat X, number 2. Blood Ties, number 2. Alright. This is good. This has been great, actually. Let me just put it like that. So, basically, how can I put it? Basically, in a sense, in Outworld, since Shao Kahn is dead, Melina has taken the throne of Outworld.
Um, basically, but that's just one part. But one of the other parts in this is the fact that we get our first take of Cassie Cage, the daughter of Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage, and she is in there with, I believe, her god sister, Jaquel Briggs, Jax's daughter. Now, once again, if you've played the previous Mortal Kombat, we kind of know that Jax died. So when did he have this daughter? So, you know where I'm going at with that? Sonya's in this, and she's interrogating Kulto Khan and all them. She's Kulto Khan. She's also interrogating Thor, and but the main gist is just all about Cassie, and her and Jack go into a underground fight ring where it's death battles. Cassie gets involved. She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna join this," and she's thinking, "Oh, it's just MMA. It's not a, not a death match. Somebody will stop it. No, it's a death match." And she's fighting Frost. Frost nearly kills her until Cassie gets the upper hand at one point, chokes her out, but doesn't kill her. And it's there where the people are like saying, finish her, and she doesn't want to do it. She's like, I'm not gonna kill her. And then it's to the point, if she doesn't, all you see is infrared beams on him, like, if you don't, we're gonna kill you and Jaquel. And you see Cassie literally say, silently, like, I'm sorry because I have to do it. Unfortunately, something happens there. I'm not going to spoil what happens there. But, yeah, let's just put Sonya and Cassie seem to not really get along too well. And that was interesting. Very interesting. But this was really good. I've been liking this series so far. It's just, once again, a lot of stuff. It's just like, wait a minute, like, how did Jax have a kid? And we get to see Kenshi, blind swordsman. Kenshi had a son, and he left in care of with Scorpion, and Scorpion is training him with the Shiryu and all that. I was like, whoa, okay, this is good stuff. Secret Six, Gail. If you were standing here, I'd kiss you. Basically, guys, don't fuck with Thomas Blake. That is the best way to describe this issue. In a nutshell, guys, Thomas Blake, one bad motherfucker. The other characters in here are good. We get to see Black Alice in action. But it's mainly centered around Thomas Blake. But the ventriloquist seems to have a real kind of thing for Thomas. I mean, she's like, yeah, he's gonna be my husband and stuff. It was like, all right, but we're starting to see the team kind of come together in a sense, but it really centered right on Catman in this. Well, the new 52 version of him, but Lashley's artwork is great, and Gale continues to shine in this. What can I say? I'm a Gail Simone fanboy. But other than that, Secret Six number 2 was good. Alright, guys. That is it. There is one thing I wanted to mention.